going to begin because tonight is our night for the Way of Mastery. So thank you for joining tonight. Big apologies for the technical difficulties. We're working out some issues and we're bumping into them big time. So those who aren't finding their way in, we sent wrong links to people. People got links for the 19th instead of the 12th, and they're trying to get in. And so we're just trying to figure all of that out. Who's here is meant to be here, and I'm glad to be here with you. So take a nice deep breath with me, please. On the exhale, feel the spine lengthen. Breathe in the present moment. Breathe in the presence of God right here, right now. Exhale out. A moment before, an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Breathe out today. Breathe in the now moment. Breathe out the future, the next hour, this evening, tomorrow, the next week. Breathe out all of it. Be here now. Imagine your mind opening up. Imagine your heart flowering open and releasing the energy of self-love and acceptance and forgiveness. We come to the Way of Mastery tonight innocent. We come as children, pure, open. We come asking that the Christ light, the light of wholeness, the light of oneness, be enlivened and grow larger and larger and consume us. I speak the word of full surrender and I say, God, thy will be done. God, thy will be done tonight. Perfectly as it is. Technical challenges, everything included. We do not argue with life. We accept it, we flow with it, and we are blessed. I'm so grateful for this, and so it is. Amen. Amen. All right, got a bunch of chats. I just want to check. You can, I can see and hear you all as well. Good. All right, friends. So we are going to get ourselves rolling here. I'm going to share my screen because the first thing we do is read our statement together. So let me do that. And here we go. On this one, read this with me if you can see it. Read it out loud where you are. Read it from your heart. I am wholly committed to awakening from the dream I have dreamt since the stars first began to appear in the heavens. My one desire is to be only what God created. Right now, I lay at the altar of my heart with every breath, everything I think I know, everything I think I need, and I look lovingly upon every place that fear has made a home in my mind, and I allow correction to come. It will come, regardless of how I experience it, it will come. And the day and the moment will arise, and all of my pain and fear and suffering will have vanished like a wind that pushes the foam of the wave away, revealing the clarity of the ocean beneath me. I will literally feel throughout my being that there never was a dream. Some memories might remain with me, and I will know that somewhere I must have dreamt a dream or had a thought of wondering what it would be like to be other than the way God created me. But it will be such a faint echo that it will leave no trace upon me. In my heart, I will smile gently, regardless of the circumstances in which I find myself. There will be peace from the crown of my head to the tips of my toes, and that peace will walk before me wherever I go. It will enter a room before I enter it with a body, and those who are becoming sensitive will wonder who has come into their place. And some will even say, behold, I believe Christ has come for dinner, and I will be that one, for that is who I am. Christ eternal. Take a deep breath. That is who we are. We are the living light of Christ eternal. I love that. That's the way to begin, my friends. All right. So, as you know, we're reading from the Way of Mastery. Hopefully you have your book, but if you don't worry about it. And some people have the larger book I heard about, and they're like, oh, I can't keep up with your pages. The smaller book are the pages that I'm following. So, I'm going to start at the bottom of page 10 because we're going to move forward here, the Way of the Heart. So that's where I am. And if you don't have the book, just breathe these words in. Just really stay focused with me. I'm going to stop periodically and go over it. The way of the heart is not the way of the intellect. For indeed, that aspect of the mind was never designed to be your master. It was designed to be the humble, and if you will pardon expression, very stupid servant of the awakened heart. Boy, that gives the mind a role, doesn't it? A stupid servant. That's what the mind is for. So if your mind is running you crazy with this thought and that thought and all over the place, that's not what it's for. It's only here to serve the heart. Isn't that lovely? Touch your heart a lot while we're together. Listen to this next part. The heart is that which feels all things, embraces all things, trusts all things, and allows all things. The heart is that in which the soul rests eternally. The heart is that which is beyond space and time, and is that spark of light in the mind of God, which is called Christ. Only in that will you find the peace that you seek. You will discover that the pathway of awakening is not a pathway of avoidance, but a pathway of truthfulness. It's not a pathway of accomplishment and pride, but a pathway of releasing from the consciousness every hope and every wish to be special, to see yourself as having made progress, so that you can pound a fist upon the chest and spread the tail feathers. It is a transcendence of the hope of somehow getting God's attention, so that God will look upon you and say, oh, you have been such a good person. Yes, we will allow you into the kingdom now. So we're becoming free of all that old paradigm stuff. It is a way in which you will come to cultivate, regardless of your inner experience or degree of awakening, the willingness and the art of returning to the simplicity of empty-headedness and not knowingness. Don't you love how they say that? Empty-headedness and not knowingness with each and every breath. It is a way of life in which all things and all events become an aspect of your meditation and your prayer, until there is established once again within you the truth that is true always. Here's the deal. This is our statement of being. Not my will, but thine be done. For of myself I do nothing, but the Father does all things through me. Some of you know this. Some of you have said it. I've said it 1,000 times, and yet I take my will back. Not my will, but thine be done. For of myself I do nothing. It's a fascinating idea because we've been cultivating this sense of empowerment, this sense of I will prosper. I can have a dream fulfilled. I can do this. I can do that. There's such a strong identity in the I that when we say, not my will, thy will be done, for I do nothing, and those are the words of Jesus, my friends, like that is the teaching of a profound healer. One of our brothers, an awakened brother, who's saying, hey, follow me. And we're being called to such a deep let go. Imagine this. The life of spirit, the life of God, the divine intelligence that is within you is what moves you. It's what breathes you. It's what draws into itself all that it needs. It's what uses your gifts and talents. It's what brings you to the perfect place at the perfect time. If we can absolutely, in this moment, in this evening, fully surrender, our life can go on an unbelievable journey of richness and perfection. So let's do that now. Join me in closing your eyes. Breathe in, not my will, but thy will be done. Not my will, but thy will be done. And imagine yourself standing at a fire, big, beautiful bonfire. And just see yourself putting into the fire, like reach down on the ground, pick up some papers, pick up something that's there. That is your will. Your will. Maybe let's make it a book. Pick up a book, and on the book it says my will, my rules, how life is supposed to be, all that's supposed to happen. Maybe it's a big gigantic book. The life according to me. This book is what's in your way. See yourself tossing it on the fire. Not my will, but thy will be done. Stand there at the fire and watch that book burn, disappear, dissolve. This this is the letting go. All my rules, all my expectations, all my desires, all the things that are blocking me, not my will, but thy will be done. And the last sentence that is said, the Father does all things through me. God does all things through me. So surrendering my book, my way of doing things, opening up. Stay in this for a moment. Imagine yourself stepping back from the fire. That book is burning away. And imagine a beautiful cloak coming down over your head into your arms. You're just literally like putting on a robe of God's will. Thy will be done. This robe is made of gold. This robe is magnetic. This robe is eternal life. And it draws unto itself your perfect path. This is like this is our thy will be done robe. See yourself in it. It's beautiful. It cares for you. It's got you. It's your magic robe. Say yes to this. Take a breath and bring your attention back. Man, that's a daily practice, is it not? That is a daily practice. Taking the moment to put into the fire my will, and I like the book image, the way life is supposed to be according to Mark. Put that in the fire, step back, and let God's will pour over me. Imagine walking through the day clothed in God's will. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's read on a little bit. Imagine then a state of being in which you walk through this world, seemingly appearing like everyone else, and yet you are spacious within. You are empty within. In truth, you desire nothing, though you allow desire to move through you. Key point, desire moves through you, and you recognize it as the voice of the Father guiding your personality, your emotions, and even the body to the places, events, people, and experiences through which the tapestry of the atonement, the at-one-ment, is being woven, through which all of the children of God are called home again. See, this is what we're talking about. Your personality, your emotions, your body, when you surrender to God's will being done, it is led, and it is more magnificent than you can ever imagine. We just have to stop arguing with life. We have to stop thinking it should go this way and not that way. Everywhere, especially when change is coming. And some of I'm the guy at Unity Naples causing a lot of change. And I'm seeing some people flow with it. I'm seeing some people argue and resist. I'm seeing some people so upset they're leaving. All these different things happening. And I think, I'm praying all the time. I'm saying God's will be done there, morning, noon, and night. And and nobody's wrong, by the way. I'm not making anybody wrong. I'm just seeing how some people are so trapped in the inability to trust, to let go and let God. Now, that's one example. Where else in your life are you blocking God's grace? What is will be? I may have said this before, but my favorite quote from Byron Katie, argue with reality, you lose every time. I love that. And I find myself arguing with reality. It shouldn't be this way. That person shouldn't do that. This shouldn't change. Argue with reality, you lose. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. This is our prayer for the week. Let's move on. What happens in this, it says, you trust the complete flow of that, whether you're asked to give a speech in front of 10,000 people, or you're asked to tell a friend the truth of your feelings, or whether or not you're asked to sweep the streets and live penniless. For in truth, that mind that trusts the source of its creation allows all things, trusts all things, embraces all things, and transcends all things. Freedom, freedom, freedom. I love it. Rest assured, whenever you feel frustration and anxiety, it is because you have decided not to trust the truth. And the truth is simply this: only God's plan for salvation can work for you. Only God's plan for salvation can work for you. What are we talking about when we say salvation? Saved from the ego construct, saved from the belief that you're separate from God, saved from the dream of pain, of suffering, of birth and death, saved from the belief that you're this body, saved from all attachments. That's what we're being saved from. We need salvation. We need salvation, but not the old school kind, like I'm a sinner and if I don't get it, then God's not going to love me. No, you are the love of God. That's a done deal. But because we know and because we are it, shouldn't we be experiencing it? Shouldn't we be walking in it morning, noon, and night? I mean, we are, but we should have the gift of experiencing it. So we're saved from all the ways that block us from experiencing our divinity and our oneness. Hallelujah, man. I'll take it. I will take it however I can get there. Thank you, brother Jesus. Thank you, the bird in the sky. Thank you, anything that helps me surrender and get there sooner. You know? Thank you, Denise. Hallelujah. Yes. I love that. All right. So this is interesting. Let's move on. It says, your way must always fail. Breathe that in. Your way must always fail. For your way begins with the illusory and insane assumption that you are separate being from the mind of God and must therefore direct your own course. This is what we're surrendering. For if you are sick and diseased and not at peace, why would you decide that you know how to create peace? It requires great humility to accept the first step of the path. What's the first step? We talked about it earlier. We're revisiting it. I have done all of this. I must undo it. But I have no idea how I did this. Therefore, I must surrender to something else. God, you guys, I just get so freaking turned on by this stuff. There's such a gift in surrender and letting go. And, you know, I'm geeked about this book because I don't know. It's just like, it leads me right to my heart. It leads me right to, oh yeah, I don't even want to run my life. I don't want to figure this out. I want what this offers, which is freedom. And we all have to take responsibility. So let's pause here again, because this is where our power is. Repeat after me. I have done all this. I must undo it. But I have no idea how I did this. Therefore, I must surrender to something else. Oh, I love it. Going on. I give you this thought, and I would ask that you would consider it well. What if the very life that you're living and each and every experience that is coming to you now, since the moment you decided, I have got to awaken here, was being directly sent to you of God because your Father knows what is necessary to unravel within your consciousness to allow you to awaken? What if the very things you are resisting are the very stepping stones to your homecoming? What if you achieved a maturity along this pathway in which you were finally willing to let things be just as they are? And now, man, underline that whole paragraph. I have. You see it? You can't see it. It's all underlined. It's so fantastic. That was like, oh, yes. So that's what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Now, make this decision. You already decided to awaken. So now this is a deep trust in God. This is saying everything that's happening now is for my awakening, especially the things I resist, especially the things I don't like, especially the way people are behaving when I don't. Everything is for me. We've said it 100 times. We'll say it 100 times more. Everything is for me. No resistance. Going on. If it was necessary to sweep the streets, you simply took a breath and said, Father, you know the way home. And you began sweeping. And up into the mind comes the thought, oh my God, I won't be recognized. I won't stand out. People won't think I'm special if I'm just a street sweeper. Yet you recognize, aha, no wonder my Father wants me to do this. I've got to flush this up so that I can look at it, disidentify from it, and learn to be the presence of love in the sweeping of the street. In truth, I tell you, the least among you, according to your perception, is already equal to the greatest. And there is none among you who is less than I am. So what this is talking about is an ego bust. Ego bust. I don't want it. I'm going to admit with you, I don't want to sweep the streets. I probably just signed up to sweep the streets just by saying that, you know? I mean, it's crazy. It's all about setting us free from the ego that thinks we're special, because needing to be special starts from the belief that we're separate. So do you understand, like, any desire to be seen, any desire to be special, any desire to have the light shine on us or recognize us, coming from the ego is our pain. It will never be satisfied. It will never bring us home to God. So this is the surrender. This is the surrender day. This is the let go. Maybe that's why we didn't make it to Facebook Live. The message was far too deep. It's a message meant to be in here. I want to move on a little more because I'm just really loving this. Okay, I read all that. Let me see. Okay. I'm at the top of 15. The way of the heart begins by accepting the humility that you have created quite a mess within your consciousness. You've created a labyrinth and gotten lost within it, and you do not know the way back. I put that in the email this week. I made that post because I thought that was a great quote. Again, accepting humility that you've created quite a mess within your consciousness. Crazy mind, insane thinking. I created this. I got lost in it. I don't know how to get home. It begins by accepting that of yourself you can do nothing, for all you have managed to achieve is the creation of a whole lot of insane dramas that are occurring nowhere except within the field of your mind. See, there's nothing happening out there. It's in our mind. They all like, I don't know this word. They are like chimeras. Someone will correct me on that. They're like chimeras, like dreams. In truth, there's no difference between a waking state in which you would be the director of your life and the dreams you have when the body sleeps at night. They're both the same. I wish to direct you to peace, even that peace which forever transcends the understanding and comprehension of the world. I desire, because my Father desires it through me, to bring you wholly to where I am, that you might discover there's someone that got there ahead of you. And when you look closely, you will say, it's myself. And I've always been there, but I forgot. So this is the point where some of you feel challenged by this, and it's cool, but I don't. I used to. This is where Jesus, literally Jesus, is saying, hey, by the way, in the Bible, he says, I will be with you until time is no more. What that means is the consciousness, the support, the love of our brother Jesus, an awakened being, is going to be with you until you are free of the time cycle, until you're free of the birth, death, reincarnation cycle. I will be with you until you have been freed from this drama. And when you're freed, you're going to go, oh, Jesus, but it's not going to be, oh, Jesus, it's going to be, oh, me. Oh, me, oneness. That's all that there is. I know this is trippy, but what's cool is, and I love this, it's this awakened dude who's like, I'm here to help you. It's my job. He's been given a job by, he says, God flowing through him using that energy field is here to assist you in the awakening. And thank God for that, because going alone, it would just be, well, I don't know, it would be nonstop. But this is our freedom. All right, a little more. In the end of all journeying, in the end of all purification, and indeed, purification is still necessary, you will discover that to awaken means to have journeyed nowhere. It means to have arrived at a goal that has never changed. Awakening is only remembrance, but it is remembrance not just of the intellect. It's not an idea as you would understand ideas. It's an idea that vibrates through the whole field of your being, your emotional body, your energetic body, your chakras, your everything. It resonates through your whole being, so that even the cells of the body while yet the body remains coalesced together in its present form, awaken and relax into the truth that is true always. If you were a gardener, would you not cultivate the art of weeding your garden? Would you not look to see that the soil is just the correct dampness? Would you not keep your eyes on the clouds on the horizon and the heat of the day? Would you not cover the delicate plants that need protection while they grow strong? And if those that would come would not respect your garden, would you not ask them to leave or build a temporary fence until the garden is strong enough, until it bursts forth with enough fruit so that you can give to even those who do not respect it? Be you therefore a wise gardener. Cultivate a deep love and respect for yourself. For you are not here to fix the world. You are not here to fix the world. You are not here to fix the world. Breathe that in. You are not here to fix your brother or sister. It's only love that heals. And until you have loved yourself wholly by having purified the mind of every erroneous thought you've ever had, until you have loved yourself, you do not in truth love anyone or anything. This is tough. This is real teaching. Save in those brief moments when you let your guard down and the love of God shines forth through you so quickly you do not even know what happened. The wise gardener cultivates a state of consciousness in which the love of God is unimpeded. I'm going to stop there. The love of God is unimpeded. So I love that analogy of the gardener. I just love that. And it's like the job of the gardener is to take care, to manage, to really protect. And if something's coming its way, the gardener has to do what it has to do. And what I love about that is, some new thought, woo-woo spiritual people are like, well, if we're unconditional love, then you're supposed to be nice. You let everybody in. And if they're unhealthy in mind, then you're supposed to still welcome them in. Again, I run a church, so I know what these people are like. But sometimes we all must put a boundary down. And we all must say, in order to keep this place sacred and safe, if you can't be here, then you can't be here. And that is love. That is love doing its mighty work. And we need to learn how to do that for ourselves. That's part of our awakening. To say, I'm hanging out with this person and they're one with God, yes, but in their current design, they're destructive. They're causing harm to themselves and anyone who comes into their field. So when I'm in their field, they want to cause harm to me. It takes something to say, no, I'm loving me. I'm caring for my energy, and this isn't welcome here at this way. To see that as love, to understand that you're not hurting anyone, to understand that God is doing that through you for yourself and even for them. Because maybe finally someone's giving them a boundary from love, not from judgment, not from pushing them away, not saying that. From love, as love, a boundary is drawn and the person is given a gift. Now, they might not receive the gift immediately. They might kick and scream and the ego has them and they'll rail against you and they'll tell all their friends how horrible you are. They'll create this whole drama thing. Even that is a gift to them because what's been activated in them is another round of seeing themselves, releasing. Who knows? It's God's business. Your business is to trust love. Trust love. And when it says, I need a boundary, it's from love, as love, in all directions. So that kind of completes our sharing for tonight. A lot of good stuff here that's happening here. Now it's your turn to share your thoughts about the reading, ask questions, whatever's going on for you. So how that works is I see you on the right side. I see we've got 31 people in the room.